Hey, what's up guys? Baby Dad Azrael here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before I get ahead into the contents of the video, I got some Crossing Void, which just had its global launch showing. Let's go ahead and give you guys a little update. I just wanted to apologize for the lack of the updates I've had on my channel lately. I don't know if I had ever said it in a video, but I put it as a discussion topic on my channel. I plan to do a release video every 7 to 9 days, but that is not set in stone. It's subject to change. As you guys know, I have two young kids at home, a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old, and they will always be my first priority. So I'll try to get it done around that timeline, but it's not ever set in stone. And this last week is actually was pretty interesting in particular because we were doing some new car shopping. That was a lot of fun. We plan to add our family in the next couple of years, so we were looking at some vans, and we got a pretty nice one. So that's where I've been, and I apologize for that, but let's get into it. Before we get into the video though, however, I got some gameplay of Crossing Void. It's actually a really fun game. It just had its global release about a week ago. I figured since this is an anime video, I would go ahead and do a little showcase of it. This video is not sponsored at all by Crossing Void, but it's actually super fun. If you guys are interested, I will definitely do some maybe some beginner guides or some tips and tricks, because it's actually one of the more fun mobile games I've ever played. Crossing Void is a multi-universal crossover fighting game with all the Dengenki Bunko titles released. You build a party of lots of the characters from the series, and you either fight the comm or you fight against other players. It's really interesting in the sense that it doesn't sacrifice strategic gameplay, along with it's got a really aesthetically pleasing combat as well. Everything flows really well. The soundtrack is amazing. It's an overall great experience, and I would recommend anybody who watches anime, especially those particular titles, to try out the game. This gacha game title is actually a lot better than other ones I've played in the past. They've got a system in place that the more you try to pull a particular character, you got a slightly better chance every time again until you finally will get that guaranteed character. The game is not really locked behind pay-to-win aspects. It's more about grinding and using your energy. Best thing in this game, at least in my personal opinion, by far, next to the soundtrack, is the ultimate abilities. I mean, they look so clean. They literally look like scenes you would actually watch in your favorite anime. They're very aesthetically pleasing. They make sense to the lore of the character, and there's a lot to do in this game. They have a big fan following, a big community. They're gonna do events regularly. Where right now we actually got the autumn event, so you can guarantee that there's gonna be a lot to look forward to, and it is definitely here to stay. Of course, you can always play through the story, but there's lots of little mini-game modes as well, more than you would see in your average game, that give lots of resources that you need, both for pulls as well as upgrading your characters, and also some different types of PvP battles and boss raids, which that's always nice. They did a really good job with adding an extended cast into the game. A lot of the characters are either playable characters in the game, or if not, if they're not playable, then you'll see them either in cutscenes or in story modes. A little bit more detail about the gacha system. I feel like it's one of the better ones in these games that I've played. As you can see with the chances, the more you put into the gacha, the higher chance that you have of pulling an S-class hero, and then eventually you'll actually pull the main banner hero as well. And not a lot of items are locked behind pay to win or straight up just buying currency in the game. You can unlock, legendary skins for your characters absolutely free through the gacha. The guild system is really interesting. They took a book out of World of Warcraft where the more active a guild is, or the more members it has, it levels up, and then you get bonuses. It's also really nice is they've added all these little shops from the guild, from a lot of the expeditions you do, a lot of the bonus stages that you get currency in order to power up your characters, get more gacha tickets, all kinds of nice things. So the content to get your character stronger, to be able to challenge other players, pay-to-win players, or even go through the game, it's not locked behind paying, buying it. It's just locked behind, using your resources around what's best. You want to level up the equipment of your character, or do you want to actually level the character up themselves? They got a tower defense system, so the higher you go up in the tower, the harder it becomes, but the more rewards you get, that's actually a lot of fun too. And then they got this boss right here as well, that you join up with 2 other players. The tower has a scaling difficulty, so it's not the same thing over and over again. What's also really nice is that you can get the best rewards too, totally free. I mean, the best gear in the game, totally free without having to pay anything. But what a lot of players are really going to enjoy is this little bit of fan service play right here. You can change who is the main cover character of your main display screen, and you can mess around with them, poke them around, they react in different ways, and it's got all your favorite waifus and husbandos from all the series. So that's a lot of fun to play with as well. And basically everything you gain in the game you get just simply by playing the game. It's got a really nice quality of life feature to where it does auto battles as well as memory battles. I thought that was kind of interesting. If you beat a stage and you 3-star it and you want to farm the stage, it actually plays through the battle exactly the same way as you beat it. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, overall it's just a really solid game. It's aesthetically pleasing and fun, and it's not the worst gacha game in terms of luck. You can get the best thing simply by playing. Yeah guys, let me know what you want to see. I'd definitely be down to make some guides. Here's my ID if you want to add me, and let's get into the main topic of the video. If Goku is known for anything other than always dying through self-sacrifice, having an unending stomach, and making friends with past enemies, it's that the general belief that he is a shit parent. It's kind of funny, if you actually Google worst anime dads just online, he'll actually come up on a couple of those lists that you'll find, and he's actually even the #1 worst parent in anime on some of those lists. And while a lot of the topics on those lists is in fact true about Goku, I don't think it's a fair way to judge his overall character as a father and exactly how he plays that role throughout the series, and I'll explain why. In all honesty, when I was younger and I was actually watching through the series live, I kind of saw that he was not really fit to be a parent. He either was a really bad parent or he just didn't care. But as I got older and had kids of my own, I can understand, you know, his sacrifice and where he's coming from. And in his defense, Goku is in fact gone a lot of his kids' lives. He's either not there, he's actually dead, but it's not his fault. And the way that I like to view Goku, or at least judge how Goku is as a dad and as a father, is not the way that most people would probably take a step back and look like. I see Goku as serving a purpose greater than himself and his own wants and desires and the wants and desires of his family. He's sacrificing himself literally and metaphorically for the greater good. A lot of the time that Goku was away was because he was defending something else that was of greater importance at that time, and I like to view it the same way that you would view a soldier stationed overseas in like in Afghanistan or in the Middle East. And the reason why is because they are also serving a greater purpose than their own wants and desires of them and their families. It's not that they don't love their kids, and it's not that they don't want to go home to their kids every day. It's that something else is threatening their kids and their families, and they've answered the call to go and stop it so their kids will never have to face that reality one day. Big argument against Goku of why he's such a terrible parent is because he is away, he's not with his kids, and he doesn't appear to really love and want to be with his kids, and that's just really not true. He can't help it that he died and time moved on. His kids grew up and they went and had lives of their own without him being present. But he left a long-lasting impression on his kids, especially Gohan, that he got from his father. And so he, even years after he had died, he was still very loved and remembered from his friends and family. And someone who didn't love their kids, didn't love being a parent, would never have that kind of impression on their kids. I think the strongest example of how much Goku loved his family and his kids was when he met Goten for the first time. He didn't even question or hesitate if Goten was actually his child. It's not like he went up to Chi-Chi and was like, "Hey Chi-Chi, before I accept this kid, show me the DNA test." No, he just embraced him with open arms and loved him, and he just loved being able to spend time with him during that 24 hours he was on Earth. That's the thing, sometimes external circumstances take us away from who we love and from our loved ones and what we really want to be doing. I mean, I get up and go work a 40-hour-a-week job, not because I particularly like working 40 hours a week, but I do it to support my family, and that means I make sacrifices of spending time with my kids. Doesn't mean I love them any less than like a stay-at-home dad or one who works from home. And Goku was a really good grandparent as well. I mean, he just loved Pan. He loved spending time with her. He knew that she was going to grow older one day, and he wanted to instill the same kind of love and respect for others that he instilled in his own kids. And the thing is that, you know, some grandparents don't get to spend as much time with their grandchildren as they really wanted to. After years of peace had come, even though Goku was still more or less kind of doing his own thing, he always made sure to prioritize spending time with his family and cherishing every moment that you had with them, because he knew firsthand that peace was just a temporary thing. Sooner or later another bad guy was going to show up and threaten the peace, threaten his family, his kids, and his loved ones, and he would more than less have to answer the call. So when peace was here, he wanted to be with his kids and his grandkids. So the whole argument that Goku was a bad dad because he was never with or around his kids is really just false and inaccurate. It's not that he didn't want to, it's just that something else always got in the way of answering the higher call. But when Goku was there, when he was physically present with his kids, he made sure every second mattered and that he was loving every second of being with them, just like a true dad should. We'll just pretend that last scene from Dragon Ball Z didn't happen. But that's all I got for this video, guys. A little bit more seldom than I thought it would be. Until next time, talk to you later.